Good evening. You're watching the weekly news digest of important events you need to know. I'm Diana Idris, and here are the top stories of the week. BRICS summit results. Kazakhstan is not yet planning to join the group. What is friendshoring? Minister of Industry Kanat Sharlapayev gives an interview to Euronews. US election race. 5 days until the election, and candidates' chances are almost equal. Escalation of global conflicts. Oil market instability impacts the Kazakh tenge. FIDE Women's Grand Prix 2024 in Shymkent. Kazakhstan is not yet planning to join the group. The BRICS summit in 2024 took place in Kazan, Russia from October 22 to 24. It was the first meeting after the group's expansion, which now includes countries like Iran, Egypt, the UAE, Ethiopia and Saudi Arabia. The key topics of discussion were reforms in global economic and political governance, the creation of a BRICS payment system, combating climate change, energy cooperation and ensuring supply chain resilience. Ahead of the summit, Kazakhstan announced that it is currently observing with interest the group's evolution. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev has received offers to join, but joining BRICS is not yet on the agenda. He emphasized that in the current context, the UN remains the only alternative international organization. Afterward, it was reported that Russia is imposing restrictions of the import of agricultural products from Kazakhstan, including cut flowers. The director of the Center for the Study of Central Asian Countries, C+5, Kuat Dombai, commented on the increasing pressure from Russia on Kazakhstan, noting that bans on the import of agricultural products and the transit of Kazakh oil through Novorossiysk have happened before and often coincided with tension in bilateral relations. Regarding BRICS membership, Kazakhstan has repeatedly expressed reluctance to violate sanctions against Russia, which is a challenge considering the long border with Russia and its membership in the Eurasian Economic Union. According to Dombai, Kazakhstan aims to avoid worsening relations with the West, especially given the inclusion of countries like Iran and potentially Turkey in BRICS. Additionally, the war in Ukraine has altered Kazakhstan's political and economic balance. Dombai noted that Astana is increasingly orienting towards China, which has become its main trading partner. Kazakhstan is under threat of secondary sanctions, and logistical disruptions have added more challenges. The Kremlin, in turn, emphasizes that BRICS is not directed against anyone and that cooperation within the group will benefit all participants, including allies in the SCTO and EEU, of which Kazakhstan is a member. Kazakhstan Minister of Industry and Construction Kanat Sharlapayev believes that his country can become a key player in providing Europe with the necessary resources for the green transition. With growing demand for rare earth elements driven by the development of clean technologies, Kazakhstan holds significant mineral reserves that can help reduce Europe's dependency on China. Referring to the COVID-19 pandemic, when global supply chains were threatened due to the concentration of production in one country, Sharlapayev mentioned the new friendshoring strategy. This approach involves relocating production to countries that are geopolitical allies to ensure more reliable and sustainable supply chains. In this context, Kazakhstan is seen as a vital partner for Europe, already playing a key role in stabilizing energy supplies and being Germany's fourth largest energy trading partner. Kazakhstan also has abundant reserves of critical minerals. Of the 30 elements listed by the United Nations, Kazakhstan has almost 18 of them, including titanium, beryllium and uranium. Sharlapayev highlighted that the country is working on increasing its processing capacities to retain more added value within the country and create new jobs in the mining sector. Kazakhstan already ranks 11th in the world in copper production and seeks to develop its internal mineral processing to avoid losing economic benefits through raw material exports. Sharlapayev also noted that 99% of the workforce in the country's mining sector consists of local specialists, which contributes to the rapid development of companies in the region, thanks to a high level of workforce training. The 2024 US election race is a decisive stage with the key candidates, former President Donald Trump from the Republican Party and Vice President Kamala Harris from the Democratic Party. The election will take place on November 5, 2024, and polls indicate that the competition between them is extremely tight, especially in key swing states such as Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Arizona. In some states, the margin between the candidates is minimal, making the election outcome unpredictable. After President Joe Biden announced his withdrawal from the race in July 2024, Kamala Harris led the Democratic campaign. Donald Trump, despite facing multiple legal challenges, maintained a strong position among Republicans in its running a fierce campaign focusing on the economy, immigration, and security. Polls show that support for both candidates is nearly equal in several key states. Additionally, the involvement of third-party and independent candidates such as Cornel West could impact the election results by drawing votes away from the main candidates. Polls reveal that the economy, immigration, and abortion are the top issues for voters, with 82% of Trump supporters identifying immigration as the key issue, while Harris supporters prioritize abortion. Voter turnout in 2020 reached a record 66.6%, and more than 162 million people are expected to vote in 2024. This could significantly affect the election outcome, particularly in swing states. In the world, several major conflicts continue to escalate, with the most attention focused on the Middle East. Israel and Hamas are engaged in intense fighting, with a recent strike on northern Gaza being one of the deadliest in weeks. The United States is demanding explanations from Israel, while the UN is raising alarms, warning of an impending humanitarian catastrophe in the region, especially after the suspension of UNRWA's activities, an agency that aids Palestinian refugees. In Africa, the crisis in Sudan persists. The conflict between the regular army and the RSF group has led to catastrophic consequences for civilians. More than 11 million people have been displaced, with the reports of mass killings and violence continuing to surface. The UN warns of further deterioration in humanitarian situation. Russia recently conducted major nuclear drills on its territory, which has heightened international concerns amid the ongoing war with Ukraine. Although these exercises do not directly involve Ukraine, their timing during active hostilities in the region has raised alarms among NATO and United Union countries. Additionally, North Korea's alleged involvement, reportedly sending around 10,000 soldiers to support Russian troops, is exacerbating global tensions. The head of Kazakhstan National Bank, Timur Süleymanov, explained that the rise in the US dollar exchange rate is due to instability in the oil market and strong demand for foreign currency from companies implementing investment projects. He noted that the drop in oil prices from 80 to 71.5 per barrel directly affects the tenge's exchange rate. Süleymanov also emphasized that despite fluctuations, a collapse of the tenge is not expected and urged preparedness for a volatility. He also warns of possible shocks due to the US elections and APEC decisions, which could further shift the situation. In In local news, from October 29 to November 9, 2024, Shymkent is hosting the second stage of the FIDE Women's Grand Prix 2024 series. This is one of the key events in women's chess featuring 10 of the world's top players, including well-known competitors like Alexandra Goryachkina, Hamfi Koneru, Tan Jongui, and Elizabeth Pence. The tournament is a round-robin format, and its results will contribute to qualification for the Women's World Chess Championship. Shymkent's event follows the first stage of the series, which took place in Tbilisi in August. The prize fund for each stage is 80,000 euros, and the winners will qualify for the next cycle of the Women's World Championship. That's all for now. Thank you for watching us.